We heard that there was going to be a kosher barbecue pop-up, which was unheard of in the kosher market. I took my wife and I to go see it. To go there, we probably spent like $300 that day on food. The smell of the wood, the fire, the brisket. Ever since that time, it's almost like my life changed in a way. Like I was so obsessed with wood-fired cooking. What made me obsessed with brisket is that we're kosher. The first thing that I attach myself to in barbecues obviously is beef, not pork. What's the king of all the meats is the brisket. And knowing that brisket is just a hard, tough cut of meat because you have the two cuts. You have the first and the second cut. One is this nice, intramuscular piece of fat, and one is that lean piece. And to get them to cook harmoniously together is a really tough thing to do. And when you get it right, there really is no better feeling than nailing a brisket. So I tried cooking barbecue on my gas grill at the time. I'm all excited. I got a nice trim brisket, and lo and behold, after 4 hours, the brisket was so awful, it wasn't edible. I went ahead and bought myself a smoker, and I started reading more on forums, and I just started doing briskets every Sunday from home, just as a pure hobby. My first brisket I smoked about 2-3 in the morning. I hear like sirens. I see 3 fire trucks come down my parents' block. They walk into my backyard. They look at the smoker like, check 1, 2, guys smoking a brisket. We're good, we're good. That was almost my first introduction to smoking here in the city. But then I said, you know what? I'm the type of guy that when I do something, I really want to do it right. I don't know anything about the food industry, but I want to be the first brick and mortar kosher barbecue restaurant in New York. We're not tied to any really tradition. My grandfather was never in barbecue. My father was never in barbecue. Our rub, it's sort of a Central Texas, but not really, because Central Texas barbecue requires like a 50-50 salt to pepper. We use a salt, pepper, a little bit of Spanish paprika, and that's it. The process for making our brisket actually starts 24 hours prior to it, is where we get our briskets in the morning of. Through that day, we start, trimming our briskets. Then we season our briskets. Then like at 9 o'clock that night, we'll start putting our briskets in the smoker. And then the next day, like from 12 till 6 o'clock the next day, we will start pulling the briskets out of the smoker one at a time. I took a flight down to Dallas with some friends, and I went to some places like Pecan Lodge, Hein Barbecue, like these top 50 in Texas Monthly Barbecue. The takeaway I was looking for when I was going to these places was really inspiration, seeing, the camaraderie and seeing everyone's the same on the line over there, and just, coming together for this amazing food was a tremendous experience for me. And then when I finally actually got to eat Texas barbecue for the first time, that was a surreal experience. Brisket is the king of all the meats, and just that purism of beef, salt, pepper. The main thing is the beef, not the sauces, not the other stuff on the side, and just that purity of Central Texas really drew me to it. Milk and meat cannot be mixed. That's actually margarine we use, because you can't use milk and meat. Why? That's just the law. Also, after you eat meat, you have to wait 6 hours if you want to eat dairy after that, because they say that it takes 6 hours to meat to fully digest. People have a misconception. They think that you could just take any piece of meat or pork and give it a blessing and it's kosher. Unfortunately, that's not the way it works. What kosher meat means is that generally there's someone inspecting the animal, making sure there are no sicknesses, there's no injuries. We have the highest level of kosher. We only use the front quarter and the hind quarter we sell to the non-kosher part of the factory. To source kosher meat is pretty hard because there's only X amount of vendors out there in the industry. We don't have that many Black Angus farms to choose from. And on top of that, our steer only has 2 briskets. We only use the front half of the cow, so we have to figure out what to do with the hind quarter as well. Kosher meat is way more expensive because just the process to get it kosher, there's so many more hoops and downs. We're paying probably double or even more than non-kosher meat. What barbecue I feel like is bringing to the Jewish community and to every community in general is that till now in kosher, recently over the past few years, it was either fine dining or regular fast food places. And barbecue is almost that food which is this really high quality beef, but it's a simple food. So back in the slavery times, it was a throwaway cut to the slaves, and they used all the tough cuts of meat But now those tough cuts are considered the most prized cuts. Seeing whether it's Jewish people here or non-Jewish people, all kinds of people eating barbecue together, I feel like that's really cool and something I really appreciate.